All right. All right.
$58 today.
There we go.
Oh shit!
Yeah, dude.
Biden won.
Biden won, yeah.
Fuck me, that's a win by a huge margin too.
Yeah. Bro, there's nothing stopping SPY to get to 358.
There is Trump.
What?
He is gonna contest all this.
It was just so. I just enjoyed every minute of watching Michigan, Georgia, and Pennsylvania flip red to blue. It was just awesome.
Why?
What do you mean, why?
It's
They predicted it. They said that, the minute Biden gets Michigan, Pennsylvania, Georgia, or Florida, if he wins just one of them, he would win presidency. And he managed to get 3 of the 4.
Goodbye volatility. All right.
Facebook is undersupply.
So we got a dark pool at 345.75 below, and then 338.30, and then 333. It's got to be mindful of those on SPY. Mirchi, guess what?
What's up?
Laptop, everything given back.
Congratulations.
Heck, Jew.
Oh, we got a gym forever now.
Yeah.
Nice.
So now it's just a matter of making sure these trades are consistent. I ain't even worried about another job. I got a good 6-month buffer and just chill. That's the beauty of working as a contractor. Yep, free from the 9 to 5. We is live, boys. Facebook. Landslide.
I'll get Netflix short. Why you why 506 Netflix. Demand, if it punches through that, it's gonna bounce. Apple going. Is there a dark pool above for Apple? Seems like it's
I don't
going
know,
for something.
but I'm trying a risky reversal play on Facebook.
I don't think anything's gonna be worth taking today. A low volume shenanigans. But above 350, market is gone, man. Look at the week. We on an ultralight beam. We on an ultralight beam. This is a god dream. This is a god dream. Yeah, we're gonna pump. I think.
Yep. It may come down to 34.82 on ES. Hold there and then just reverse.
If we manage to stay above 3,500, that's the pump. That's where the pump is gonna come. Change gonna come. Oh yes it will. Oh,
Getting heavy.
the pruning has commenced. One by one, General getting rid of everybody.
All right, is it gonna hold here? Hold. Seems to be holding.
What's holding?
It's gonna hold.
Huddle. Huddle, please.
Facebook
please.
showing 297.50 today into close.
Okay. Netflix looking like a possible reversal from here if markets hold. See if it stops at 506 or so. Am I blind, or are same day calls for Netflix $500 fucking dollars?
No, they're expensive as shit.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, because they're expecting reversal.
Ow. SQ not getting updated. What do you mean? Not getting updated how?
Oh, Robin Hood thing? Oh. Shucks.
What the fuck?
Okay, 350. 350. Nope, we're not going up. 350 wall. We didn't manage to stay above 3,500.
Yep. Square might come down to 160.
Yeesh.
Man, that TTD play was just nuts.
Everything is coming down.
Yeah.
Oh, everything. Oh, goodbye, goodbye.
Yeah. Today is what I'm saying. Oh, weirdly enough, Facebook's holding 290s. If it breaks 290, I'll get out. TTD doesn't give a shit. What?
I said Spy 115 almost in the money instead of Apple.
All right. Facebook's not holding 290. I am getting out of these calls.
I'm trying to keep my faith. Wow, those 351 puts I alerted yesterday at 2.3, 3.5 now. God damn it. We on an ultralight beam. Unless VXX goes over 21.9, we're gonna catch a bid.
Yeah, this is getting really weird because I'm literally seeing spy what do you call it? Facebook 290, 290, 250, and 297.50 calls long, but it's just getting hammered. Neo might see 40. Neo might see 45 today. All right, time to get rid of Facebook.
Wow, Neo squeezing again. Get the fuck out of here.
I swear, when Unit's having a hot week, I'm having a shit week. When I'm having a hot week, he's having a shit week.
He's probably siphoning.
Roku, what do I see on Roku? I see Roku down potentially 220.
We on an ultralight beam. We on an ultralight beam.
See, 34.70 puts long on SPX.
Yeah, I'm seeing
And-
VXX catch a bid, so I just got out of my calls flat. I'm not looking to hold anything today.
Yeah, it's gonna try and fill this gap back down to 34.50s.
But I mean, if you followed in spy calls, you should be green. Though unless it breaks 34.90, I advise just getting rid of it.
I see 338 calls shorted on SPY for today.
338.
Yeah.
That's not gonna happen. I know they say never, but never.
Yeah, bro. It's $300,000 short.
So
All right.
I'm saying it's not gonna go to 338.
I'm not saying it's going to 338. I'm just saying they're taking it to whack premium.
Oh yeah, but 349 puts have been shorted too, so. And I'm guessing that's a considerably higher amount, money-wise.
And then at the same time, you see those 355 puts are shorted, so it could squeeze the fuck back up while Facebook came back up.
Exactly what I'm saying.
TDOC is, or TTD is probably going to see 800 today.
I mean, it's a low volume Friday. Kind of like today is just premium selling after index jumped up 10%. Jesus fuck! Somebody called Rich.
I mean, what are you talking about?
Look at PLTR, bro.
Yeah. Okay, I took Roku puts. So. What's so funny?
Burrito. Elliott waves.
Of course, Roku gonna squeeze now. Roku might see 245, might see 252. That was a bad trade.
Burn that premium. Burn that thing.
Wow. And Facebook right back up. That is just fucking retarded. He yanked everything in the morning just to get back in. Kangaroo fucking markets.
I mean, dude, it's 10% up on index in a week. So it makes sense for them to just kill off everybody on a Friday. It's Friday, Friday, gotta get down on Friday. Everybody looking forward to the weekend, weekend. Yeah. PLTR though, wow, what a squeeze. I'm guessing Steve is
Richie
very
knows his stuff.
happy. I mean, look, I've said it before. I believe in PLTR. Why? Because it's an information and data gathering service in the
One sec.
information age. It's kind of a no-brainer, if you ask me. Friday, Friday, gotta get down on Friday. Everybody's looking forward to the weekend. Pin it 348, 350. Unless 348 breaks, this is going to be a pin. 348, 350, 348, 350.
Roku doesn't give a fucking shit. This is gonna squeeze as well.
Choppity, choppity, chop, 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 chop. Chop, 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 chop.
I'll be back. My kids are being fucking retarded.
Oh, Boeing said nope. COVID-19. COVID-19. I blow the wind of God on you.
Alright, I'm back.
Welcome, sir.
Hmm?
Welcome, sir. I mean, I got nothing else to do watching this choppy ass market. Not like I'm gonna alert anything. Just to lose money. I don't like losing money. Sometimes that means staying on the sidelines.
Uh,
I have no idea where that came from.
Are you fucking kidding, bro? Yeah, I'm taking a walk. This is just fucking stupid. Now they're gonna fucking pump this up, then bring it back down, then pump it back up, then bring it down. I'm seeing TTD maybe even 8:30 today. What the hell? That's insane. Where is Square going? Square might see 200. Oh, there goes TTD for the 800. It's crazy how 800 calls on TTD went from 50 cents to 15 today.
There's there's the reaction of 348. 348, 351 pin. 348, 350 pin.
Yeah, they're gonna go red to green or flat now. Just dumbness.
Mm-hmm.
Remember I said I saw that 3510 wick?
What?
On ES?
If it's a wick, it's real price action.
Yeah, they're gonna pump it to 35.10.
Yeah, I really don't see anything, to be honest with you. $3,500, 3,503, 15-minute drop base drop. It's There's the pump. Let's see if 350 rejects. I will go pin. I'll go grab a cigarette. I'll be back.
public. This week, the Trump administration put forward a radical new rule that would make regulations from the FDA and other Health and Human Services agency automatically sunset unless the agencies undertake a cumbersome, time-consuming process to renew them. This is a time when we need full attention of the FDA on the development and approval of vaccines. This is an opportunity cost, but it is a reflection of their disdain for science and governance. They've been messing with the whole process of the FDA, trying to diminish the importance of the trials that are necessary to approve efficacy and safety of a vaccine. The lame duck rules, this lame duck Trump rule seeks to paralyze government and generations of life-saving protections and try to burden the new president elected by the American people right out of the gate. So the Trump administration will well wish to seek this regulation rule beyond HHS to other agencies as well. People have been asking for a while, as I said, what can he do? Clean air, clean water, food safety, you name it. This is a dream of the radical right wing. First they started recently on undermining the civil service, and now they're trying to say, unless we review all of these regulations, they will be sunsetted. Now, we do believe that regulations should be subject to review. That's not any objection. That's part of the process. But there is a way to do it, and the way to do it is not to first zero in on the FDA at a time when we're trying to achieve a vaccine for the people. And this is the work of the Energy and Commerce Committee, and that's why I'm so glad and honored by the presence of the distinguished chair of the Energy and Commerce Committee. You'll hear from him about this. I refer you to the National Register of November 4th, the day after the election. They put this destructive rule in the congressional record. More from our distinguished chair. Thank you, Mr. Pallone, for coming down to be here for this conversation, which is very important to the health and well-being of the American people, with a respect for science, for governance, especially at a time of pandemic when the FDA should be focusing on a vaccine and not on a Heritage Foundation agenda. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And let me say, like you, and I think like all Democrats, and I think most Americans, it's a very happy day because we do believe it's quite clear that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris will be our next president and vice president. And so we can't help but be happy about that, as the Speaker obviously is, and I am. But I just also want to commend the Speaker for still stressing so much that we have to crush this virus, which she has been saying now for so many months. And of course, I think the last time I was here with her, we talked about the need for robust national testing, tracing, and treatment, which is in the HEROES Act, and which she kept insisting on as she negotiated with the White House. She realizes, I think as most of us do, that we're never going to get the economy back on foot. We're never going to create jobs, and we're never going to make this country strong again unless we can crush the virus. And she's just, like a laser beam, keeps insisting that that's so crucial. And as she mentioned, the numbers, the virus continues to spread. I mean, yesterday, more than 116,000 Americans contracted COVID-19. It was a one-day record since the pandemic began. So when the Speaker says that this has to be crushed, it's because part of the reason is because it's getting worse, and we have to address it. And the sad thing, and that's kind of my role here today, is to get into more specifics about what the Trump administration is doing, what President Trump is doing in this lame duck in these last few months, is exactly the opposite. In other words, rather than trying to help with the scientists, with the health experts, with those career servants who have been helping us try to come up with a response to this virus, he's trying to undermine it all. He's trying to make it more difficult for us to crush the virus. He's making it more difficult for those health experts to speak out and to even be there at all to help with this effort. And that is so unfortunate. He's moving in the exact opposite direction of what the speaker and most people say we need in order to crush this virus. And so I just wanted to talk a little bit about these two things that the speaker mentioned. One is this executive order threatening the civil service employees. A lot of the people who are helping us within HHS and other agencies are career civil servants. And he issued this last-ditch effort to fire career civil servants on October 21st, this executive order. And, you know, this includes people at the FDA and the CDC, as the speaker mentioned, and basically says that over the next month or so, the president and his administration could put out a new schedule classifying career civil servants, for example, somebody like Dr. Fauci, as essentially non-civil service employees who can be fired. You remember that at one of his rallies just before the election, he suggested that he might fire Fauci after the election. Dr. Fauci is an example of the type of person who could be fired under this executive order and possibly even be replaced by people like Dr. Atlas, who are not qualified, to actually deal with this virus effectively because of their lack of background or the policies. And all of this before he leaves office on January 19th. Now, some said, well, is a threat, right? So in other words, it's either I'm going to fire them, right? So in other words, it's either I'm going to fire them or I'm going to threaten them with the fact that if they speak out and do things contrary to what I want to do with regard to COVID-19, then they'll know that they might lose their job. They might lose their civil service job. So effect it's really basically the same thing. Then the other one is that the speaker mentioned is this rule change that was put in place. He issued a proposed rule just this Wednesday that could be finalized, my understanding, by early December. And what that says is that there's something like 2,500 regulations within Health and Human Services. This is particular to Health and Human Services, but we may see it with other things. That says that if any regulation has been around for more than 10 years, then you have a period of time to justify it. Otherwise, it expires and sunsets. Now, these are all regulations that deal with, food safety, approval of drugs, which has been such a controversy because, he's always been trying to approve these drugs that we know the scientists think really are not effective. And beyond that, though, it also diverts resources. In other words, if the staff who are working to crush the virus has to be diverted to justify and, spend all their time dealing with this regulations that they would not want to sunset, it's also a question of staff time that takes away from our ability to actually deal with the virus. The comment period for that closes December 4th, and he could actually then put it in place and start this whole process to undermine not only the regulations that now are over 10 years old, but others that might become 10 years old later, during the Biden administration. So we're just trying to emphasize, why is this president doing these things that undermine our ability to crush the virus rather than working with the speaker and trying to put together a plan, like the HEROES Act, that would make a difference and actually effectively crush the virus? So I just want to conclude by saying this. We need the scientists and we need the public health experts. We need to scale up the testing, the contact tracing, the treatment. This is going to be, unfortunately, is likely to be a dark winter. And it just doesn't make any sense for the president to use this short time that he still has left to undermine the national response. It's also an insult to these civil servants. And one of the things that we certainly are going to do, because I'll go back to the committees again, if I may, Madam Speaker, we're going to spend our time in Energy and Commerce and the other committees trying to shore up these agencies like HHS, CDC, FDA that he has tried to dismantle for the last 4 years. Morale is very low, but I want everyone who works in these agencies to know that we, as Democrats, Speaker Pelosi, Joe Biden, our next president, we're on their side. We are committed to crushing this virus. We are going to support the public servants. We're going to work with the Biden administration to undo the damage and ensure that civil service protections remain in place and that we have a national response to the virus. And thank you for all that you do, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I do want to commend you for the testing, tracing, treatment, space, mask wearing, etc. that is in the HEROES Act. That was a product of your committee under your leadership, as well as working with scientists about what really is necessary to crush the virus so that we can put our children safely back in school, open up our economy. That's what we really need to do, but we need to do it safely. Further to a couple of points that you made, in terms of the civil service is a very important part of a democracy. It takes the politics out of the performance of civil servants. It is about public service being a noble calling. But if those civil servants are directed by political appointees to make certain scientific decisions or else they will lose their jobs, that undermines the purpose of safety and efficacy in terms of FDA, but also the health and well-being of the American people. I want to commend Peter Marks, the head of one of the centers at the FDA, for an important op-ed he had, I think about a week ago, talking about how the scientists were going to stick with a plan to do this in a way that gives people confidence in the vaccine that would come forward, because the vaccine is only as effective as its merit, of course, but also how people will take it. The vaccine is a big hope for us, but it's not the only way for us to stop the spread of the virus, but it is an essential way for us to curtail the further spread. So again, I thank you for your leadership in that regard, and the idea that you referenced it until January 19th is the date that they want this all done by, January 19th. Can it be undone? Yes, but it takes a great deal of time and effort to undo, which took a lot of time and effort to make matters worse in terms of approvals and et cetera at the FDA. So with that, I'm pleased to take any questions. Jared?
Madam Speaker, you opened by talking about this big win that it appears Joe Biden might have in the popular vote and so forth. Yeah. But in that same election, in that same environment, you're going to end up losing seats off your majority. Yeah. What does that tell you about what the American people want from their Congress?
We lost a few seats, but as I said, we won those seats in Trump districts. He wasn't on the ballot. He is now. I think that what happened with the Democrats for Congress across the country helped contribute to the Biden success. So we're very proud to be part of that mandate. Very proud of that. Would I rather have, while I have the utmost respect for the members whose districts were almost insurmountable with Trump on the ballot, I do believe that we'll be with Biden in the White House and a Democratic Congress, and hopefully a Democratic Senate, we'll see in January, we'll be able to do great things for the American people. As I said, we've lost some battles, but we won the war. We have the gavel. We have the gavel.
You don't see any sort of policy or any kind of corrective message from the American people there at all?
No, I do think that we should always be evaluating and respecting what the people have to say. I myself think that and I've said this to the members over and over again, income inequality, the disparities in income and equity in our country must be addressed, and everybody must be at the table to do that. That's something that Chairman Pallone has worked on from the perspective of New Jersey and his committee. So we have to go to that place. People are concerned about the threat to their jobs from technology, from trade, from other people, just newcomers to our country, And we have to show them this is not a zero-sum game. Somebody's success here is not taking away from your success there. So I see this as a tremendous opportunity where people are respectful of people's opinions, the diversity of opinion. And again, some members had some concerns about what happened in their district, but most of the people expressed those concerns won. Most of them won. And we had no opportunity cost spreading a wide net. I was disappointed that we didn't win some seats in Texas. I'll be very honest about that. But nonetheless, we're paving the way. We're paving the way. We made our investments. We held the House. That was our goal. If we could win more, that would be good. We're still in the hunt on a number of seats right now. So we can have this conversation probably next week with some numbers. But for right now, safely, the gavel is in the hands of the Democrats. Safely, we have the prospect momentarily, if not happening while we're here, of President-elect Joe Biden, Vice President-elect Kamala Harris. Yes, Chad.
Good morning, thank you. How do you address with a more
You guys
narrow...
always get the front seats here, I don't know.
I was in the back a few weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
But how do you, with a more narrow majority, how do you address, and this is something I asked you about last week, some of these philosophical differences in your caucus, when obviously it's going to be more to the left, and from a governing standpoint, if you're going to get something done with the Senate, regardless if it's DRR or the White House, that legislation has to be more in the middle. How do you sort that out with these pressure points at both ends of your caucus?
Well, let's just say this. It's not both ends of our caucus. Our caucus has its differences. I would not want to lead in a caucus that was a rubber stamp lockstep caucus. That's called Republicans. We are the Democratic Party, and we have several exuberances in our midst, and that is representative of the districts that people come to Congress to serve, and we respect that. But our unifying principle, and you agree, Frank, is America's working families. Everybody is there to make progress for America's working families. I always say it in terms of the children. Our children, their health, their education, the economic security of their families, a safe, healthy environment in which they can thrive, including from gun violence, and a world at peace in which they can reach their fulfillment. So about the families, the kitchen table issue, nobody is more attuned to that or connected to America's working families than Joe Biden as President of the United States. So I think you will see, as we build consensus, we don't govern from on high, we build consensus. Not everybody, I didn't say unanimity, I said consensus. And I see it as an opportunity. I do say, and I have said publicly, I represent San Francisco very proudly, and some issues that would be wonderful in my district are just not winning issues other places in the country that we have to win. That doesn't mean we curb our enthusiasm for our boldest progressive agenda, but it does mean that we recognize if we're going to win in other places in the country, common ground with the respectful of what works in my district for me, and other members in their districts, but also respectful for how it works for members in their district. And Frank has a variety of points of view in New Jersey. Did you want to speak to that?
Well, I mean, I think you could maybe use New Jersey as an example of what the speaker is saying, right? In other words, we had 4 frontline members who basically over the last 2 election cycles took back Republican districts for Democrats. These were Republican districts. You look at the NCIC or whatever performance, they leaned Republican by anywhere from 2 to 5 or 6%. And over the last 2 election cycles, we captured them. Would I have liked to have, Jeff Van Drew lose? And he may still lose, actually. He may still lose.
There's a path.
Sure. And then that would have been a net gain. It may still happen. But I take pride in the fact that we were able to keep these 4 frontliners that took Republican seats over the last 2 cycles to contribute to a Democratic majority. So, we stand here today. I stand here today with the speaker Joe Biden is going to be president. We retain our majority. We've reelected, and using New Jersey again, a lot of these members in districts that were for Trump in the past. So we're very proud of the fact of our success, and we have more opportunity now because we have the White House as well as the House, and maybe even the Senate, depending on what happens in Georgia.
But there's not tension here inside the caucus at all?
Welcome to my world. We always have, we always have a beautiful dynamism in our caucus. But no, I think people are. Some people. I would say we have a healthy difference of opinion within our caucus, but not in any way to be problematic in how we legislate. What the conversation was about, what is the winning message outside, and the message in the districts that we have to win is the message that unifies us, a message for America's working families, and everybody knows that. Yes, sir.
I was just wondering.
The gentleman behind
okay.
He had his hand up.
Madam Speaker, the previous four presidents, Clinton, Bush, Obama, and Trump, entered their first year with their party fully in control of Congress, the House and the Senate. How much do you have to trim back the ambition, knowing that at best it's a 50-50 Senate, and some think that the Republicans are favored in Georgia, and you'll still have Majority Leader McConnell?
Well, how many times have you heard me quote Lincoln? Public sentiment is everything. With it, you can accomplish almost anything. Without it, practically nothing. And that is what I think is going to save the day. The public wants the virus to be crushed. They want the economy to reopen. They want children to go to school safely. The public wants a big jobs bill. And I don't care if you're in San Francisco, Michigan, Alabama, wherever it is, people want jobs. They want jobs. And that is, when we talk about the health and well-being of the American people, job security is an important factor of health for those people. So as we go forward with a infrastructure bill, that is usually not partisan. It isn't partisan. And we're going to blanket the country with a Build Back Better, as Joe Biden calls it. We called it Moving America Forward. We have a great deal in common between those two agendas. And we think that, when we did for the people, remember we did that in 2018, we weren't looking for a fight for lower the cost of prescription drugs. The president said he would do that. He said he was going to negotiate like crazy to lower the cost of prescription drugs by having negotiation. I'm going to fight like crazy for negotiated prices. Okay, he didn't, but he said that, and that was common ground. He said he wanted to build the infrastructure of America. Every conversation I had with him, starting and congratulating him, and then after that, every conversation before he was president and in months after, I want to build the infrastructure, I want to build the infrastructure, until it came time to make the tough decisions about paying for it and the rest, and then he stomped out of the room. So those were two areas that he had espoused in the campaign. So we weren't, we were looking for the most impactful initiatives to affect people in their kitchen table issues, the cost of health care, et cetera. Preserving the pre-existing condition benefit. How many times did you talk about that? Never did anything about it.
Climate change,
So
immigration.
I think that, look, the Republicans are taking a lot of time saying how much they support the pre-existing medical condition. Well, let's just see what the court does there. Because that will be, and that's Frank's purview as well, in terms of, you want to speak to the health issue?
Well, I think that, if you listen to what the Republican leadership says in the House and the Senate, they say they want everybody to have health insurance. They say we're going to repeal the ACA, but we're still going to make sure people have health insurance. Well, I don't believe that, because I think the ACA is the most effective way to accomplish it. But whether the courts undermine the ACA, or certainly the president has, I think there's a recognition with both sides of the aisle that we need to have close to 100%, or however close we can get, of Americans covered. So I think there's opportunities to work with them to deal with this. Hopefully the court doesn't repeal the ACA, because that would be hugely tragic for the country. But it's certainly possible to work with them on a number of these health issues, and we will. And now we have the upper hand because we have the president. So I think that they're going to have to come a lot closer to what we want than to whatever President Trump wanted, which I don't even know what he wanted. But
And now let me just say on this score again, because this is where we go from here. And we want to unify. Joe Biden, as I said, is the great unifier. Where are the issues that we can find as much common ground as possible? Now, if we're talking to our supporters in the labor movement, jobs. If you're talking about the poorest people, Reverend Barber's Poor People Crusade and all that, jobs. Everything in between, jobs, 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 a four-letter word. And that is where we should be focusing, and health, jobs, education for our children. And we have to show with our initiatives, for example, the timetable that our planet is on, the climate issue is a big issue for us. It's also a jobs issue. It is we can create good-paying green jobs, be preeminent in the world in green technologies as we advance it as a health issue, clean air, clean water, as a national security issue to protect the habitat and the resources and prevent some of the migration that causes unrest, as well as a moral issue. So, but when we're doing it, we have to have everybody at the table so that people are not afraid of the future, because it is inevitable. The future is inevitable. We will have to address the climate crisis. Technology has an inevitability to it. We have to address what it means when you're having precision farming and robots in the assembly line and the rest. Trade, we are a global economy. There's just no getting around that, and we want to be because we want markets for our products. But people are intimidated by that, and we want to make sure that, again, as I said earlier, it's not a zero-sum game. Your section wins, your section loses. No, how do we go down this path together? As I say, I see everything as an opportunity, and that opportunity is greatly enhanced by Joe Biden and his knowledge of his vision for our country, his knowledge of the issues, his strategic thinking about how to get it done, and his connection heart to heart with the kitchen table concerns of America's working families.
Speaker. On the stimulus question, does the election change your strategy at all? Republicans are out today saying there's good jobs numbers. Let's do a smaller package now. Does that appeal to you at all with the fact that Biden will be the next?
No, it doesn't appeal to me at all, because they still have not agreed to crush the virus. If you don't crush the virus, we're still going to have to be dealing with the consequences of the virus. And that's why we have said the three pillars of our bill: crush the virus, honor our heroes. That's our state and local. Over 1 million people have lost their jobs already in state and local, teachers and people in education, et cetera, because of the funds that have been used to address the virus and lost revenue because of the virus. So no, that isn't anything that we should even be looking at. It wasn't the right thing to do before. By the way, while they refused to sign up for the testing initiative, which is what science says we need, and they refused to give an earned income tax credit to poor families to keep them out of poverty, working poor families, keep them out of poverty, where 8 million more people have gone into poverty as the COVID money has run out. They still insist on having $150 billion for the wealthiest, tax break for the wealthiest people in our country. So we are different. There's a difference between Democrats and Republicans. We have a responsibility to find our common ground, stand our ground where we can't, but make it clear to the American people what the choice is, because public sentiment, as I said, Lincoln said, is everything. But sentiment cannot weigh in unless people know. For us now, the fact that we have the President of the United States to speak to the American people in these terms is such an advantage for us to be able to work together in a bipartisan way, rather than the Republicans mischaracterizing what we're trying to do in the Congress of the United States. Again, I see it as an opportunity. I think Joe Biden has a big mandate, a bigger mandate than John F. Kennedy when I was in school, and bigger mandate than others. It's pretty exciting for the country because he respects every single person in our country, certainly every single person who voted, and we respect all of them. And it is, we have challenges that need to be faced because of the future, which is inevitable and all that it contains. But we want people to know that the decisions about it start at the kitchen table and emanate out, not at the corporate boardroom and trickle down. Thank you all very much.
Madam Speaker.
Madam Speaker.
Okay, Jake, we're just gonna live in, going right back to cliff world.
Oh, yeah.
There is no legislate.
I know.
Infrastructure was her answer.
I mean, also,
didn't want to call on me.
she also doesn't want to, no scale back ambitions for COVID relief, but although why would she scale it back at this point, you know?
COVID relief is the one that they'll do COVID relief, and then everything else is dictated by a cliff.
Yep. Agreed.
Well, there's no caps anymore. So they'll just, ask you need another one? Give us another 10 years of time. They got the cool Echelon.
Oh, yeah.
What, in charge of the inauguration again?
Yes.
Oh, is it always?
But I have to imagine, they're not, I mean, what does an inauguration look like in COVID, number one, and number two, do they have like a lunch? And do they...
There's lots of things, I've talked to him about it a few times. He wants it outdoors for safety reasons.
But very scaled back, I guess.
Very spaced.
You could put a lot of